And before we talk about what's next, you know, obviously the last fight, you were disappointed with the stoppage. I was listening to an interview that Mark Goddard did a couple of days ago, where he was kind of defending his decision to stop the fight, and he used a comparison where he was talking about the Frankie Edgar and Korean Zombie fight that happened a week after, and people were kind of giving him heat for stopping that too late. His description was that fight had only been going on for a minute, where yours had been a 24-minute back and forth. What do you make of his take and his justification for the stoppage?
I think that Mark Goddard is a fucking clown. He should never be able to ref a UFC fight ever again. I mean, there's no consistency in any of his calls. He stops it early on me, and I'm completely fine, completely coherent, intelligently defending myself. You can see me put a hand behind my back. And if you go look at the stoppage at the end of the fight, those are 6 strikes straight to the back of the head that nobody's talking about because no real journalists have journalism degrees. All these dudes in their mom's basement that want to come out with these opinions, no one wants to talk about the real facts. No one wants to talk about the fight. What about the fouls? What about the momentum changes because Marty Fake Newsman is faking injuries? Oh, fake nut shot, fake eye poke. I mean, those are complete momentum changes. I was fighting 2 guys that night for the world title. I was fighting Mark Goddard and I was fighting Marty Fake Newsman. So, you know, it wasn't a fair playing field. You know, fake fouls, fake stoppage. You know, it's a bullshit stoppage. There's no consistency in anything that Mark Goddard does. The guy's a clown. And he'll never come within 10 feet of me ever again in any type of UFC octagon or UFC event.
And I know you want to run the fight back with Usman. Obviously, have your management reached out to the UFC? Have you guys discussed that? Because I know they spoke about a potential Usman and Masvidal fight. They're discussing it, nothing like signed or like on contract or anything. But have you spoken to UFC? Have your management spoken to UFC about a potential rematch? And what are their thoughts, if so?
There has been some talks with the UFC, you know. They like the idea of a rematch. They think that it's justified. I mean, if you go look at the fight, I'm up 3-1 going into the 5th round. I won the 1st, 2nd, and 4th. There's no questions about that, you know. And, you know, the UFC likes the idea that the fight delivered. It was a great fight, you know, exciting fight. We put on a show for the fans. We should not put on a show for the people. But, you know, this had just started, Farah. This just started. That was round 1. There's round 2 and 3 coming. There's a sequel and a trilogy coming to this fight. So, you know, I think they like the idea of it. You know, there was a little bit of chatter about journeyman George Masvidal getting a title shot. But, I mean, the guy's won 3 fights in a row? He's 3-3 in his last 6, 5-5 in his last 10. The guy's the definition of a broken, mediocre fighter. That's why he got the BMF title, for broken, mediocre fighters. So, you know, Street Judas doesn't deserve a title shot. And to be honest, he doesn't want to fight for a title because he knows if he fights me or Marty Fake Newsman, he's going to get exposed. He hit lightning in a bottle. And, yeah, he's got a little hype on him right now because he's got some knockouts. But the guy is not a complete fighter. He's one-dimensional. He hasn't done anything to deserve a title shot. And to be honest, I think he's going to sit out and he's going to wait for Conor McGregor, and he's going to overvalue himself thinking that he deserves more than he does. And I'm going to slide back, and I'm going to get my rematch this summer in July on International Fight Week.
So is that the game plan for you? Like I know you don't mind. Like you're someone who's always in the gym. You've shown that ring rust means absolutely nothing. For you, is the plan right now just to see what the UFC does? Is that what you're going to base your next move off? And if they do go with Usman and Masvidal, what do you think is next for you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, I'm gonna sit tight, play my cards tight, and you know, I'm gonna keep getting better. I love training. I love just getting better and just improving every day. And I know I still have a lot to work on. I'm still new in the game. And the good thing for me is I'm still young. I'm 31 years young. Time's on my side. So, you know, whatever they want to do, I'm still going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. And there's no one that can take me out of this position right now. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to see what happens if someone overprices himself out of that title fight. You know, and I deserve to fight for the title. I've already won a world title. I'm a world champion. I'm the people's champion. I'm America's champion. I'm a Donald Trump's favorite fighter. So to get me back, they need to give me and do me right and put an even playing field and give me my rematch for Marty Fake Newsman. And if not, if they want to go another direction and they want to have Street Judas, journeyman George Masvidal fight Marty Fake Newsman, then that's fine. I can wait for the winner. Time's on my side. I'm not going nowhere. We can fight by the end of this year.
So if they did, for example, offer you the winner of Woodley and Leon Edwards, that wouldn't interest you at all?
I'm fighting for a title. You know, that doesn't interest me. Those guys are bums. No one cares about those guys. I didn't even know they had a fight, to be honest. I mean, who is Leon Scott? And we all know that Tyquil Woodley's over the hill. He's cashed out, man. TMZ Tyrone, man, he's too busy talking about the Kardashians to worry about fighting and getting better as a fighter. So he's cashed out, man. He's over the hill. His time's passed, and no one cares about the other freaking guy. He's got marbles in his mouth. So, my time is now. I'm the world champion. I'm the real champion. The people know who's the real champion, and the people want round two. This is war. And we had one battle, but you know what? We just getting started. That was round one. There's still round 2 and 3 to go. And next time it's going to be a fair playing field, and he's not going to be able to fake injuries to get a momentum shift when I'm about to stop him in a fight. So it's going to be a completely different outcome next time.
And when you look at the fight, did you expect it to play out the way it did? Was wrestling part of your game plan at all? And were you surprised that he didn't try to wrestle you at all?
No, I was not surprised one bit that he didn't want to wrestle, because he knows that if he wrestles a D1 All-Star like me, he's going to get exposed and he's going to get tired and he's going to gas. And the reason that I didn't implement any wrestling is because I was beating him up so easily standing. I wobbled him in the first, the second, and the fourth. I hurt him with the head kick. I got a nasty body kick on where he's about to quit. I caught him with some good straight lefts, good hooks, good uppercuts, and had him on wobbly legs, multiple times. So, I was having so much success striking that I didn't need to wrestle, and I was winning the whole entire fight, so I didn't feel like I had to switch to the wrestling. But the rematch, there's going to be a different game plan, different strategy, and I'm 110% confident that he won't be able to stand with me.
And if they do go ahead with Usman and Masvidal and you wait for the winner, are you afraid to lose that Usman rematch? I mean, would the Masvidal fight interest you as much as the Usman rematch, or for you, you'd be rooting for Usman just to get that one back?
Yeah, it would suck, but it would also be, good. There's really nothing bad that can come out of that fight. Whoever wins that fight, it's going to be a massive fight. It's either going to be my ex-best friend, journeyman George Masvidal, a.k.a. Street Judas, because he's a Turner. He's a piece of shit traitor. And, if we fight, there's such a history, man. We used to be best friends. We lived together for, year and a half, man. Trained together for 8 years, every single day, man. Me and George used to fight, in apartments for 2 hours straight, fighting bathrooms, fighting parking lots, like to fight for a lot of money on the line. I mean, it would be easy to do, and it's a real rivalry now. This is a heated rivalry. We want to kill each other, and I mean, there's only one guy that's going to get killed, and that's him, because he has no chance against me. But we'll just have to see. I want my rematch. I want to expose Marty Fake Newsman. I think he's on steroids. I think he's been doing EPO. He's been cheating. He just hasn't got caught yet. He's doing a good job blood doping. He has some good doctors over at 365 Gym. They do a good job of cycling for him. So, I want my rematch. I'm going to finish Marty Fake Newsman next time. And, if they want to go ahead with that fight that no one cares about, then, I'll be waiting for the winner.
And where's this EPO thing coming from? Did you hear something, or is this something that you're assuming just from what you see?
I've gotten a lot of secondhand knowledge from guys that train with him, and they've all said the same thing. They've all said, hey, he's been doing this for a while. He has a good doctor, a good science, a good chemist that injects the stuff in him and is able to get him clean in time. So, it's just a lot of secondhand, and these people wouldn't lie to me and just make something up for nothing, and just seeing like the drastic change in his career. He fought a bum and Emo Meek and gassed out in 3 rounds, and then now he's going 5 rounds hard, like easy now. It doesn't make sense, and the math doesn't add up. He's a cheater, and it obviously showed in my fight he's a cheater. He's a terrible fucking actor. His acting is awful. I mean, faking the fucking eye poke. He didn't even barely get poked, and he's faking the other eye. And dude, you're on camera, man. The whole world's watching. You think that's not going to be able to replay and people are going to be able to see that? The guy's a cheater. He's a faker. It was a fake fight, and it should be a no contest, and I want my fucking rematch.
Would you do anything differently in the rematch, or do you feel like the game plan you came with was working and that's what you'd implement again?
Yeah, I definitely have a different game plan. I noticed that, when I kicked him in the liver and I was really starting to put the pressure on the second round, he didn't like that. He was ready to fold up. You could see it in his eyes. If you go freeze frame to when I kicked him in the liver and he turned around, you could see in his eyes he was ready to break and he was ready to quit. But when you get 5 minutes to recover in a fight and you get that 2 separate times, that's 10 minutes of resting in a world title fight. There's no way for me to build momentum or build pressure on him because he just takes breaks, and that's cheating, and it shouldn't be called for, and it's not fair. And not only was I against two fighters that night. I was against the NSAC because look it, in the third round, they're releasing my corner audio. How is that fair, Farah? I mean, that's completely out of line. Like, especially with all the cheating that's going on in sports. Let's look at the Astros, the signal stealing, especially with the Patriots and the NFL, Deflategate and all the controversy, man. It's not fair and it's not right. And this needs to be made right. And I need to get my rematch immediately. And if I don't, then I'm going to wait for it.
And since you're very familiar with both Masvidal and Usman, how do you see that fight playing out if they do fight?
If they fight, I think that Marty Fake Newsman exposes journeyman George Masvidal. Like I said before, Street Judas Masvidal, he hit lightning in a bottle. He's not that good of a fighter. He's got 3 fights in a row where he got 3 lucky knockout finishes. But who's he beat besides that? He got 15 losses on his record. 15 losses. Why are we talking about him as a world-class fighter when he has 15 losses on his record? So, they need to make this right. They need to give me a title shot, and they need to run it back.